Okay, so we welcome everybody to this panel before Pesach. It's the ultimate Pesach prep panel because I want everybody to come to Pesach calm, happy, and in control. So, okay, we're going to give you some tips here tonight to help make that happen. And that's what I want to do. And I've asked both Lily and Susie to give you very concrete tips about how you're going to manage Pesach in the most efficient and effective way. Tonight's panel is very, as all my panels are, if any of you have been on the panels, you know, they are very, I'm very strict with the time. So both Susie and Lily are going to share with you a little bit about their recommendations and suggestions and tips on how you can come to Pesach with ease and joy. And then I will also give you some recommendations from the world of crystals, of course, and some other thoughts as well. And after we have each given you this important info, I want to come back to you, and each of us has special offers for you. So for all of you participating, everyone who's signed up is going to have the opportunity to really take advantage of the amazing offers that Lily, Susie, and I are offering you tonight. So I'm going to start. I'm going to begin by introducing Lily. Lily is actually, I didn't know this, but Lily, I didn't know this till recently, I should say. She's a neighbor. She lives like 10 minutes from me, and it's not that often that people live down the road from me, okay? She lives in another yeshuv in the hills of Binyamin, and if you've been with me, you know how much I love the hills of Binyamin and living in Yehudan, Shomron, and how I feel it's so important. So it's like a bit of a soulmate here, somebody who lives down the road in a similar place. That's wonderful. And what does Lily do? She empowers women through transformative life coaching and nurtures both mind and body. She's certified by the Institute of Integrative Nutrition with advanced training in hormonal, somatic, and post-trauma awareness. She helps clients achieve and maintain their ideal weight. That's a challenge. Passionate about holistic well-being, Lily enjoys a vibrant family life in Taiwan and has been featured in Joy of Kosher, Chabad.com, Jamie Geller, and more. She has thriving Facebook and WhatsApp communities. She runs group coaching for the Shabbat Ideal Weight Blueprint, and she does personalized one-on-one coaching. Take it from me. Lily knows her stuff, and she's incredibly knowledgeable in the field of health. I say this from personal experience. We went on a long drive together last week or the week before, and I learned a lot and discovered a lot about the source of certain things that are affecting me. So I have asked Lily to join us here tonight. Take it away.
First of all, thank you so much to Gila for hosting this amazing panel and to all of you to be here. I know I have been invited to so many different panels and so many different events, and deciding that you're going to give us your time and invest in yourselves. I'm very honored and privileged. So I don't want to waste any of it. And we're going to jump in. The most important thing I want you to take away from today is to feel very empowered that you have the privilege of making Pesach. And I know there's a lot of sometimes stress around the amount of food that we have to make. And is everyone going to be happy? And everybody has different strictures and rules and what they cook with and what they can't. But if you go in with the positive intention of this is a privilege, I get to make Pesach. I got to leave Egypt. My ancestors left Egypt. We are living in a time of miracles. Like this is something that can be playful and fun, then you're already better off. So I shared with Gila something I want to teach you guys that is going to make making your menu plan and eating out at a hotel, at in-laws, at family so much easier. Gila, you want to put up the image?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't see it, but can all of you see it? No, not yet. Some yes.
Now, 1 second.
Yes.
It's tiny. It's tiny.
It takes a minute till it comes
Oh,
up.
wait.
Okay.
Got
But
it.
it's there.
Okay, great.
Can you see it? Lala said
Yes.
yes.
Okay, great.
You.
So this is called the Harmony Wheel. And it's something that I created to help my one-on-one clients and group clients start to have an easy visual to understand the way that we're going to approach any meal. And that's, first of all, we're going to pause and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. I don't know when the last time you took a deep breath is, but air is actually the #1 food group, and it's kosher for Pesach. It's not Gebrox, not kidney oat, totally free. So it marks everybody's like checklist, and it's crazy healthy. So we're going to take a deep breath into our belly. When you take 3 deep belly breaths, no matter what you're eating, it's going to have a healthier interaction with your body. So each time you're eating, whether it's Seder night or you're approaching one of the meals in your 3-day or 2-day Chag, which is unusual for us in Israel, there's a lot of meals. That's a lot of opportunities to breathe. We also make a lot of blessings. When you take those deep breaths and you concentrate and you make that blessing, actually the interaction between your nervous system, your digestive system, and the food that you eat is already healthier. So see, I didn't take away your sugar, I didn't take away your chocolate, I didn't take away anything, and you're already healthier. So instead of talking about what we're not going to eat, let's talk about what we do want to add. So the next thing when we want to add is water. And over Pesach, a lot of the Passover food, whether you're eating potato starches or you're eating matzah, meal, or matzah, is very dehydrating to the body. That's what caused all those things that we need prunes for. Yeah. So we can actually avoid that whole gastric mess by increasing our water. How much do you say? 16 ounces before a meal. Try to drink before you eat instead of just during your meal. And you're going to see it's so much better for your digestion. It's so much healthier. And automatically, it's like taking an appetite suppressant, the natural, healthy way God intended. And it actually curbs your hunger and increases the speed that your satisfaction hormones are going to start to be, which means you're going to feel satisfied faster and it's going to be easier to avoid overeating. I know a lot of you already know how to cook vegetables. I'm sure you have a lot of recipes and tips and hacks that save you time that you've learned over the many years you've been making Pesach. But even something like a simple cucumber can be made 5 different ways. You can peel the cucumber into a salad with fresh lemon juice, olive oil, and salt. You can slice it into circles and pickle it with vinegar and water and salt. You can add dill and it becomes a whole nother salad. You can add a little homemade mayonnaise which you make with just avocado oil, eggs, and lemon juice or vinegar. And again, you have a totally different flavor profile in that salad. Even though we don't have as many spices to work with on Pesach, we really have the basics that all flavors come from. We have garlic, we have onion powder, we have paprika, we have salt, we have pepper, and we have a ton of fresh herbs. And if you buy those herbs before Pesach, you can pre-wash them, put them in paper towels, and they'll really last you most of the week. And they're a great way to add flavor and fun to all of your recipes. So we talked about breath, we talked about water. The next thing on the circle is those vegetables with healthy fats. So whether you're roasting vegetables like beets and potatoes, you might want to try parsnip. You might want to try carrots. If you've never tried roasted radishes, they're actually incredible. All of these foods are really good for you. And sometimes we get stuck and we think, oh, it's just potatoes. But there are so many amazing vegetables for Pesach. Zucchini, eggplant, cucumbers, tomatoes. Everybody has their list of vegetables that are available to them. And I was just talking with my group coaching program today about Pesach, and together they came up with so many different ways to cook vegetables and make fresh salsas to flavor their food, just through stuff that they had already started doing. And when you already are eating healthier, Pesach is much less intimidating. The healthier and more whole-based foods you eat, the easier it is. My #1 recommendation is don't try to copy all of the fake for Passover recipes, right? Like, let's make a potato crust pizza, and let's make a potato starch cookies, and a million different things using these fake ingredients. Some of the best desserts you can make on Pesach are like really amazing chocolate bars and nuts and seeds, depending on which kashrut you hold, whether you eat chia seeds or flax seeds or you don't. But even just those whole walnuts are so much fun to crack. Really good chocolate, and let the Seder and Pesach be what it is. So many of us have a lot of different rules around Pesach, and when we remember that they're a privilege, like we have these customs for a reason, not to make so much more work for us, but to empower us to connect spiritually to our heritage, to our traditions. The next thing is protein. And we all know people who have gone on crazy diets, who've lived off vegetables and protein for weeks, if not months, and lost crazy amounts of weight. But we all know it's not sustainable. But we know that there's a huge amount of recipes out there that use Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, salmon, whatever kinds of cuts of meat and chicken are on sale at your local store or work for your family, that you can make into so many different enjoyable meals. Not only that, but you can batch cook them and you can use them throughout the week. One of the things that we talked about today was making individual servings of things, like using a cupcake pan and making little mini meatloafs, right? And making little mini vegetable patties and vegetable kugels. Vegetable kugels are a great snack. Everyone's always hungry randomly between meals. But if you take a bag of frozen broccoli and you add 6 eggs and some shredded cheese to it, you have an amazing, easy, fast kugel that you can take with you. And you have protein, you have vegetables in there, and it takes that one bag of frozen broccoli and actually makes it last and go for a lot more than just roasting it in the oven would. So there's a lot of easy things you can do to highlight vegetables, to highlight proteins, to feel really satisfied and make things easy. The next section is the carbs. And on Pesach, matzah itself, if you have whole wheat matzah, all natural handmade shmur matzahs are actually whole wheat and made from more whole grain. So those are great too. I have here in Israel, we have high fiber matzah. Example, you can find it in every grocery store, and it's from Matzot Yehuda, which is a very good brand. You can get also spelt or whole wheat matzah. Each square of matzah is like 2 slices of bread, and there's nothing wrong with having some. What you want to watch out for is that dehydration. So you want to add an extra 16 ounces of water for each square of matzah. Matzah is great. Fresh fruit. This is a season where there's so many amazing fresh fruits and cooked fruits. I learned from some of my clients today that they do mostly cooked fruit over Pesach, and we discussed how delicious a cooked fruit compote can be over cottage cheese, over Greek yogurt, and it can almost taste like a dessert that you're having as a snack or a healthy breakfast. I wanted to pause here for a second. We have like 5 minutes left, and take anybody who has a question about Pesach, about nutrition, before I wrap it up with the final part of the Harmony Wheel. I can't see everybody. Does anybody have a question?
Picture of the woman is that breathing on your chart?
Yeah, so at the end, we have the breathing, and then I wish I could see the chart here as you're looking at it, but I have it in front of me too. Hold on. So we have the breath work at the beginning, and then we have gratitude. Can you easily find gluten-free matzah for Pesach? So here in Israel, there's one store in Kiryat Sefer in Modi'in Elite that sells gluten-free oat matzah for Pesach. And so it's a little bit harder to find the hamotzi gluten-free matzah, but the regular gluten-free potato starch matzah is easily available in like every single store.
Lily, I don't think we've got time for more questions. Okay.
So at the final part of the meal is before you start taking seconds, at any meal, one of the things that we really want to focus on is going back to 3 things. Number 1 is grounding. So holding a hot cup of tea Taking slow, deep breaths. Yes, that's the woman putting her hand here. Slow, deep breaths where you're belly breathing. So you want to have something grounding. It could be a hot cup of tea. It can be drinking some more water. And then reflect on the plate of food that you just had, in the meal that you were just served, and how grateful you are for what you've already consumed. And just to remember that you're the only one with authority. One of the best things about Passover is that we're free men. And that means we are only subject to the authority of God. So you have 100% authority about what goes in your mouth. And that can be incredibly empowering. And you should take that and feel very proud of yourself that you can have a healthy and inspired holiday.
Thank you. Do you want to mention the other slide, Lily?
Yeah, if we have time. So
Another
the other
minute.
slide that I wanted to share quickly is the hunger scale. And the hunger scale, let me know, guys, give me a like when it's up in front of you. So the hunger scale has 5 parts. So we're going to start from the bottom, number 5. 5 is starving, extreme hunger, an urgent need for food. You're feeling irritable, you're shaky, you're impatient, you need food right away. Once we're in 5, we're really going to make very poor decisions, okay? We want to not get to a state of extreme hunger in order to eat, okay? If you are in a state of extreme hunger, do not jump straight into food. The most important thing that you do is actually start with those deep breaths and re-regulate your body that you're not going to die from this starvation. You want to calm that nervous system response, go to the water, and then eat. Otherwise, you're going to get in that place, we've all been there, where you feel like you could eat the whole pantry and you don't feel satisfied until you've way overeaten. You have to first calm the nervous system before you can start eating. Number 4 is hungry. That hunger is awakened. It's noticeable. You are ready to eat. I feel my stomach growling and I'm ready for a meal. This is where we really want to start eating. And over Passover, where there's so many big meals, if you stick to 1 plate plus 1 salad plate of food, you are going to find that there is enough time, even between these large meals, to get to a state of 4 hunger. Small salad plate and 1 regular plate of food. Everything you see on the table, say yes, 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 yes. All of it looks delicious. Now that I've said yes to everything, what do I actually need to consume? What's going to go on my plate? And then be really special and careful with that real estate so that you have room to enjoy the next opportunity and the next meal. 3 is neutral. Very often, this is where we feel peer pressure to eat. We're not hungry and we're not full, but all of a sudden, there's somebody else is opening a snack. Somebody else is eating a piece of cake. Somebody else is eating a cookie. Somebody else is sitting down for a meal, and they invite you to join them and partake. There is so much social eating on Passover. What we really want to do is when we're at a 3, again, return to your breath, return to your water, and remind yourself, you can be a full participant with another person without eating with them. When you're sitting at a table with somebody, you can be sharing energy, drinking water, drinking a cup of tea, and be fully participant. In fact, you're even more focused on them because you're not distracted by your eating. And you can sit down and give yourself permission to give them your attention without feeling forced to eat when you're not hungry. 2, comfortably full, satisfied, content, calm, energized, and not wanting more food. This is the sweet spot to stop eating. This is where we want to go back to taking those deep breaths, drink some more water before we continue. Because once we hit number 1, over full, this is when our body will start to release even more hunger hormones, will be dysregulated, and we will feel much more out of control when we're over full than when we stop when we're satisfied. We've all been there, right? It's like your stomach opens a second section just for the dessert after you were so stuffed you couldn't look at food 5 seconds beforehand. If you actually stop when you're just comfortably full and not stuffed, you won't have that sensation, Instead, you will feel so much more balanced, so much more regulated, and so much easier to make intuitive eating decisions. I don't want to take over. There's so much more good stuff coming. And so I want to be respectful of your guys' time. I hope you enjoyed and found some really important things you can take away. Reminder, eat in harmony, eat in the order, and you're going to do amazing.
Thank you, Lily. That was amazing. Thank you. That was really enlightening. And I think if we remember that and make sure not to be that overfull, bloated, which we know Friday night, whenever it is, let's not get there over Pesach. Let's enjoy the beautiful, healthy food. I also love that healthy Pesach food, that it's just food. It's real food. Anyway, so now how are we going to manage it? How are we going to manage that financially? Susie, we need you, our family financial advisor and mediator. You know that Susie holds an honors degree in business management from London, okay? She has extensive experience in administration and budgeting. She launched her financial advising business in 2008. Susie specializes in helping families, especially those with fluctuating incomes, manage debt, create effective budgets, and achieve financial stability. She provides guidance on financial planning for major life transitions and delivers lectures in English and Hebrew on family finances. Susie is totally down to earth and extremely practical and wise. Believe me, I know that from personal experience, ladies. Okay, so it is a pleasure to have her here today. Susie, it's all yours.
Okay, so I'm going to share my presentation.
One
Send
second.
requests. Please, can you let me share my
Right,
screen?
you're on.
Thank you so much. Hurry up, let me just do it properly. Okay, so can everybody see the screen?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I want to say thank you so much to Gila for arranging this incredible and valuable session, and to Lily, who I've learned, every time I meet her, I learn something new, and she's telling us how to balance our eating with Pesach, and tonight I want to help you balance your bank account with the Pesach eating. Anyhow, shalom, my name is Susie Gahati. I'm a certified family financial advisor and mediator, and one of the most senior family financial advisors in Israel. I'm also a member of the Union of Family Financial Advisor, and I sit on the research committee. We've made a lot of financial reforms in the Knesset. I volunteer in a wonderful organization called Ogen, where I mentor small businesses. I'm divorced with 3 gorgeous daughters. I live in Ramallah, Israel. Now, before we dive into this talk, I actually want to share with you my personal story, how I went to really bad at handling my finances to becoming a leading family financial advisor in Israel, and how this all intertwines with Pesach. Yeah. So before I got married, I managed my finances okay, because it was just me. But my financial struggle started after starting a family, and we really struggled to make ends meet. Even though we're earning well, I think one of the main reasons was that we never actually sat down, had a serious discussion about money, or did some financial planning. It's like getting into your car, knowing roughly where your destination is without using Waze. So my wake-up call came when my then husband received an enormous bonus, only for it to vanish completely, paying off debt. And that's when we knew that we had to do something. So we rolled in a budgeting course, and the impact was immediate. But my finances took a big turn when I helped a family member on the verge of bankruptcy become financially stable. So I used a very simple, structured system, and they stabilized their finances pretty quickly without even feeling deprived, which is amazing. I was so inspired by this success, because it was so easy to rectify that I decided to become a family financial advisor. Now, after I finished my studies, this is when our finances changed dramatically. First of all, our expenses didn't exceed our income within a couple of months. We became debt-free very, very quickly. The joys of budgeting, of course. And what the best thing was that we managed to save without lowering the standard of living. So I'm sure you're asking, how on earth did this go in with Pesach? It's a very good question. So I thought how wonderfully, when I sat down, organized my finances, I said to myself, why don't I implement the same methods in preparing for Pesach? Because I really didn't like Pesach. It was really a bit overwhelming. So one year I decided to sit down and do a very detailed flowchart, something like this. And what was the result? The result was a stress-free Pesach where all the expenses were covered without an overdraft. So proper planning, as you can imagine, transform our daily finances. And of course, our Pesach spending, proving that financial stability is achievable with the right strategies. So today I want to share the tools and the strategies that I learned along the way. And if any part of my story resonates with you, please take some notes, because I'm sure you want to implement the tips. And I want to make this Pesach the smoothest, most financially stress-free one yet. Now, throughout my 18 years of experience as a family financial advisor, I saw how last-minute shopping, lack of budgeting, actually has prompted families to overspend. So last week, I had a fantastic webinar called Pesach Saving Secrets. And before every webinar, I always send out a survey to get to know my audience a bit better. And I really would like to share some of the insights I got from the audience. So what did they say? Some of my audience start preparing for Pesach like 3 months to a month ahead. I don't know about you guys, but what else? None of the people who answered the survey actually budgeted or saved money for Pesach, which I'm sure is the cause of their financial stress. And also, due to the enormous price hike in Israel, the biggest challenge that people were facing was the purchase of kosher Pesach food. But because of this big concern, the majority does market research. Do you see yourself in these answers? If so, please write in the chat box. So we have 5 major areas that we need to deal with the budget. We need food, cleaning, clothing, travel, and entertainment. So here are my tips. First of all, with food. My tip here is to set amount for food, a budget for food, for the entire month of April, not just for Pesach, okay? So you can adjust your menu and spending so you can stick to this amount. Yes, it can be done, and I do appreciate that it will take a bit of time, but it's so worth it when you avoid the overdraft. Also with cleaning, let's face it, you don't really need to clean the whole house. You need to prioritize only the places that have chametz eaten. That means the kitchen, the dining room, maybe a couple of other places. So that will have a significant impact on your cleaning budget. So my tip here is to prioritize where you're going to clean. Now let's go into clothing. A lot of people like to buy new clothing for Hag, which is great. So my tip here is to really take stock of what needs to be bought, especially for your children. So you can do some market research to ensure you get the most value for your money. Now travel. For all you lucky ones who said, I'm not going to make Pesach this year, I'm going to go away. It's not a fantastic idea, but be aware it can be expensive. So for those of you who haven't saved up, you might want to take out a loan or consider paying in installments. But if you're going to plan a summer getaway, plan the installment schedule carefully so it doesn't overlap with your summer vacation costs. Okay, now let's go on to entertainment. Many workplaces here in Israel are closed on Chol Hamoed, which is a great time for some quality time, right? So it could be a day trip, a movie, a picnic, or a get-together. but create a budget for these activities. Now, if friends or family suggest an expensive outing, feel free to say or to offer a cheaper option, because the goal here is to be together and not going to overdrive. Okay, so I want to go back to food, and I want to explain why Pesach planning, the menu Pesach planning, is a must and can save hundreds, if not thousands of shekels this year. So we have to be very realistic about Pesach. It's 8 days of festive meals with dietary restrictions. So menu planning, isn't just about what's for dinner and making sure that the people of the household are not eating potatoes and matzah the whole time. It's also about keeping your sanity. Planning ahead is a lifesaver. And it also avoids unnecessary stress, like having to forever go out to the supermarket, which is really expensive. So here's how a little planning can make your Pesach smoother and even more affordable. So let's start. Keeping costs under control. We know that kosher, the Pesach products are expensive. And without a plan, it's so easy to overspend. But when you plan your menu in advance, you can set a budget and stick to it. Buy only what you need, and you won't be tempted to go into these panic buying extra things. You'd say, just in case. No, it doesn't need it. Everything's been planned out. Also, take advantage of sales or stock up on essentials before the price hike, because a lot of products are kosher and Pesach all the year round, especially in Israel. And this is really important, reducing food waste. Now, Pesach is different from the rest of the year because you're buying special ingredients that may not see the light of day after Chag. For example, does anybody still have a half a bag of Pesach flour still in the pantry? Yeah, we all know that. You don't need to say yes, but we know it happens, okay? So if you have a menu plan, it ensures that every ingredient gets used. Leftovers are repurposed into new meals. The leftover chicken can go into a soup or a salad. The leftover meat from Seder night can be made into a delicious shepherd's pie. And you only buy what you need. Less waste, less guilt, less money thrown away on food that nobody wants to eat after Pesach. Now, if you're hosting guests, it's so tempting to buy or make more than we need. I'm guilty of that. I know I am. Because we're all Yiddish mamas, right? But over-preparing leads to extra expenses, unnecessary work, and a fridge, you guessed it, it's filled with leftovers. So a good menu helps you portion meals, because not everybody's going to take a piece of chicken and a piece of meat. So calculating wisely is essential. And your guests will be happy. They won't go hungry, I can promise you. And so will your budget. So the bottom line is menu planning is a happier bank account. So if you haven't planned your Pesach menu yet, it's time to do it now. And let's go on to the shopping. Shop smart.
Susie, finishing up.
I've got 1 more minute, I know. Where and how you shop significantly impacts your spending. Buying dry goods like matzot and kosher Pesach all in bulk can lead to major savings. Butchers and fishmongers often offer discounts in bulk orders so you can split with family and friends. I also say stay alert for special promotions and discounts. I know that shops like Osher Ad have very competitive prices, especially for large families. Additionally, Haredi communities often organize co-op for bulk buying, so consider joining one. And online shopping is great because it saves time, because we know we're going to a supermarket on Pesach, we may get out of there after 3 hours. And my last tip is prioritize essentials over luxuries, because it's so easy to overspend on specialty Pesach items. But instead, I ask you to focus on necessities. Use a budgeting method my clients apply year-round. Categorize purchases into 3 groups: the vital, the essential, and nice to have. By prioritizing wisely, by budgeting carefully, you can have a wonderful hug. So thank you so much for listening. Oh my goodness, I could talk and talk and talk. But it was very difficult to put it all into 10 minutes. I know. You inspire me.
Okay, now let's work this out. Okay, Susie, take down your presentation.
Yes, I will. Stop sharing. Here we are. Thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. Susie, that was really terrific. And I love that thought about prioritizing what I buy, putting it into the different categories. In other words, the chocolate goes in each category, though, you know.
Of course. But you know
Okay.
what? I can make it even simpler. You can say, do I need it? Of course I need it. Or do I just want it?
Mm-hmm.
That's also a very good tip. But
Great. You walk around the
categories.
supermarket. I talk to myself anyway, right? So walk talking to myself and say, need it, want it, need it, want it. Okay. So, many of you know me, but some of you don't. Okay. And if you know me, then you know that I am actually passionate about what I do. And I focus actually on bringing people happiness, calm, balance, and harmony into their lives. I help clients to reach the source of their challenges and heal and cleanse the difficulties life has dealt them. And how do I do this? This is done in a fascinating and holy way through the use of Avnei Choshen and crystals. As a social worker and having studied psychotherapy and group work, I use the unique tool of Avnei Choshen and crystals to gain insight into a person's physical and emotional well-being. I feel, and it really is a tremendous, tremendous chut to work with these incredible holy creations that Hashem has given us. I run workshops and I do hands-on courses training people to do healing and assessment with crystals. It's an incredible world, and not tonight because we're very jam-packed here. But usually when I do sessions, I start off and I deal with the Jewish perspective on using crystals. Tonight, you're going to have to take it from me that it is kosher, okay? And I've researched it. And please God, when I run my next webinar, you'll join. And then you'll hear all about it, because on the webinars or the master classes, I can't help but share this information. It's just part of who I am and the way I do it. Okay? So, there are too many things on the screen for me to be able to, wow. Okay. Here we go. I want to share with you, you still got it, didn't come up. So first, I can't go without giving you one little thought on this. It says in the Gemara that a woman on Shabbat can carry the Event Kuma. And why can she carry the Event Kuma? In order that she does not miscarry. In other words, the Event Kuma, which we know today as the carnelian stone, was used in the times of the Gemara. Okay, we're going back about 1,500 years. They were using crystals then in order to prevent miscarriage. Now, that tells us that crystals were a conversation. That's what was used. Okay, and I've got many more sources, but I wanted to just make sure that you have this one. Oi, I'm having such a challenge here. Sorry, folks. Let's see. Okay, no, this is really special. Okay, now when I talk about how we're going to come to Pesach, for me, happiness is very important, to be happy. And not only for me, this comes like whether it's from Tehillim, where it says, Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, we have to serve Hashem with joy. Or we're told specifically for the Shloshet HaRegalim, the three festivals, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, v'samachta b'chagecha, you should be joyous. And in Shabbat, in the Gemara, in Masechet Shabbat, it tells us that the divine presence rests where there is joy associated with the performance of a mitzvah. So I want to help you, okay, to have joy over Pesach. coming into Pesach, and really not only joy, I want to go through a few things that are going to be helpful to you to come into Pesach the best you possible. We need energy, we need joy, and we also need a level of calm. So let's go. So simcha, happiness, that's right. We have some beautiful stones here. The pyrite is a stone for optimism, for happiness. It is Even HaSimcha. I happen to have it on my desk. Surprise, surprise. I happen to have lots of things on my desk, right? And it's really, when we have confidence as well, we're going to feel more happy because we know we can manage what's on our plate. Okay, and that confidence is going to make us feel good. So the pyrite is number one. The Dalmatian jasper is also a happy stone. It gives us a really good feeling, and it adds a sense of fun to our lives. And we all want to have fun in our lives, or we want you to want that. You know, when you're having fun and you're bringing that smile to your face, it's going to be infectious. We want a happy household. We want everyone around us happy. And how do we do that? When we're happy ourselves. Our energy spreads. So I urge you, take these stones, buy these stones, be in touch, okay? The other thing is we want to have positive thoughts, okay? We want to make sure that we don't have the thoughts of, I can't manage, I'm not going to do it. No, I just learned a whole how our thoughts are something that we need to be controlling. Okay, we do have control over that. And if we can put certain thoughts aside, certain thoughts we can say, we don't need those thoughts, I could be happy. Instead of thinking about that child or that person who was sitting in the couch watching us clean instead of joining. I don't know if that's happened to anybody, but just in case such a scenario has occurred, instead of thinking negatively, we could think, wow, this person is very understanding of their own needs. And you know what? By them sitting there, I feel that I have a fullness in my house. I feel that I have people around that are watching, that are enjoying. And when she is comfortable, they're going to come and join me. Let's really move our heads. Literally, if you need to, move your head. Say, oh no, you're going out and you're coming in. And the smoky quartz is really beneficial for that. The pearl, yes, ladies who have pearls, enjoy your pearls, okay? They have such tremendous value. They are a calming stone. They're a stone that actually removes fear, okay? We're scared of what's going to happen. We're scared we're not going to make it. We're scared the food's going to not work out, or we're not going to stick to budget. First of all, you know, you just heard Susie, so you're going to stick to budget. You heard Lily, so you know that by making some great broccoli kugel, or you know, your potatoes and your sweet potato, you're going to be preparing nourishing good meals. Remember, I don't have to be concerned. There's plenty. We have plenty of stuff, and it also, okay, is going to cleanse things from inside, from our history that we don't want to get rid of. You know, we were told that we weren't good enough and we don't know how to do it. No, that's not true. Let's get rid of those thoughts. You are good enough. Each and every one of you here are terrific. We have, okay, I have a website. On my website, gilaslonim.com. There is actually a simcha set of crystals. There are lots of sets of crystals, but I'm pointing that out to you today. Okay, now I want you to have energy. Okay, you do have the extra things to do. Let's be honest here, when we have to clean the oven and we have to clean whatever it is, do lots of cooking, peel lots of potatoes, even if we have help and we want to prepare our list and be organized, we want to have that energy. And the quartz crystal is a fantastic stone to energy. It's also a stone that's going to help us to really receive the abundance that Hashem wants to give us. Hashem wants us. God wants us to be happy. God wants us to enjoy the Chag. He told us, "B'samachta b'chagecha." Okay, so let's be open to receive it and to know that that's really what he wants. We're going to have the energy, and we want to have all our energy centers balanced. Okay, I mean, this is a little, okay, come to my webinars, whatever, discuss with me afterwards, and I'll discuss more about balance. The hematite is also a stone that is excellent for energy, okay? It helps to get the blood flowing. So if you're feeling cold, just put a couple of hematites in your socks, okay? Or stick them to your ankles, and they're going to help get the blood flowing. And it's also a stone that will help us cope. So sometimes when things are challenging, the hematite is going to help you cope and just to manage as well. Now, this is important, correct? Because we want to be calm. We want our household to be calm. We want an atmosphere of balance. And that's what the amethyst can bring you, the amazonite can bring you, and the lepidolite. These stones on their own and together, they give you that a feeling of calm, that also the consistency, okay, is really, for me, is something very important. And that's why I always have an amazonite. I also have amethyst. Anybody who knows me is like, not going to happen that I'll run an event and not discuss the amethyst, the calm, the spirituality. Hello, it's a chag. We want to say hallel. We want to thank Hashem for taking us out of Egypt. Right, and look where we are today. Many of us here are in Israel, but we're all having a beautiful Pesach, a Seder, whether it's just, you know, whether it's just the intimate family or whether it's a large Seder, we're able to do that. And we want to connect to Hashem and have the wonders of leaving Egypt. So these stones are going to be very, very helpful. The lepidolite will really help with the stress, will also be very beneficial as well for the consistency. So these are all really important stones for you. Okay, and that's that. And now I'm going to remove this spotlight and ask Susie and Lily each to give their special offers. Okay, you've heard so many good things. You understand that each of these ladies are top professionals. They know what they're doing. So their special offers are really worthwhile. Lily, please tell us what you're offering everybody here tonight.
So if you really enjoyed the images that I shared today and just a little bit about how the way you eat can take a lot of that deprivation, diet thinking, throw it out the window and still live at your ideal weight. I've lost 80 pounds. I've held and kept it off for 9 years. I've had clients lose 50 plus pounds and keep it off for years. But the most important thing that they say when they're working with my systems, it's really not a diet. Really, they actually aren't talking about it with the friends for the first time. They're feeling this deep, profound transformation that they think less about food, less about their weight, more about their life, more presence. That's why we call it harmony. So I wrote a guide that I give only to my one-on-one clients who I'm coaching with called the Harmony and Hunger Guide. And I'm going to give it to you and give you guys an opportunity to go through it. And if you want to take that to the next step, then you can get on a 15-minute call with me and discuss one issue that you had, one insight that you got from the book that you want to apply to yourself, and if you want to move forward.
Amazing. And I'm going to be sending you a follow-up email with the contact and all the details so you can take advantage of all of these amazing offers. Susie.
As I mentioned, throughout my 18 years as a family financial advisor, and I'm going to do something very similar to what Lily says. It's not a diet. I would really like to help you become organized. So I have a special Pesach giveaway where there's a flow chart to help you organize everything to do with Pesach in very manageable bite-sized tasks, okay? Not only that, the importance of a menu planner. Today I sat with a client and we did the menu for the whole of Pesach, and her head is not always on her shoulders, so she was so happy. She says she does it with me every year. She puts the menu on the fridge. The kids don't drive her crazy and say, Emma, what's there to eat today? No, they know exactly, and they don't eat the Shabbat dishes already on Thursday. So I'm giving that with the Pesach giveaway. And of course, the ultimate shopping list, where everything to do with Pesach, from toothpicks to toothpaste to cleaning materials to shmor matzah, is on that list. Now, but for some of you who are struggling to handle the finances, it doesn't matter how old you are. From the 20, I had a 70-year-old 17-year-old, excuse me, to a 92-year-old, they're still looking for guidance. I'm offering a free introductory meeting. Again, you can ask me anything because I have solutions for all ages and all problems. Again, I'd like to say thank you to Gila. She's wonderful. She inspires me. She's my accountability buddy. She makes sure that I'm on the right path all the time. I have been using, I have my amethyst here. It's because of her. So thank you, Gila.
My pleasure. Thank you. And I would like to offer everybody, feel you're welcome to take advantage of the discovery call, the free discovery call that I offer. If you want to explore what to explore, what does an assessment mean? Can I help you? Can I help your child? Who can I help? And believe me, thank God we have amazing stories of how we help people. Even, you know, a woman with a rash all over her, she didn't come to me for that. But once we resolved her inner issues, the rash disappeared. Okay. Or the kids that in school, unbelievable the changes that we can make. Thank God. Thank God. I say, Marabu Masecha Hashem, how great are the wonders of Hashem. So feel free to be in touch. I'm opening a course, Emirtz Hashem, a course which people love taking. And I kept people, actually, a lot of people ask me, Gila, when's the next course? When's the next course? I said, I'm in the middle of a course. I'm teaching now. And that's why we started at this hour, because I was teaching earlier on this evening. But I will be opening a new course in June. So if you're interested in a course, be in touch with me, please, because I've got special offer of whomever you book a course. Okay, now during this month, I am going to give you a set of crystals, an extra set of crystals. With the course, you get boxes of crystals and all different things, but not like you saw the happiness set, some exciting set as well. So I will be sending you the follow-up email with the recording. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Susie. And thank you, everybody, for being with us. Litraot, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.